What if I told you every single breath you take is powered by a roommate situation gone wildly out of control? No, not your messy college roommate. I'm talking billions of years ago when one tiny organism swallowed another and instead of digesting it said, "Hey, you pay rent in ATP?" As incredulous as it sounds, it's a mind bending biological theory with serious evidence behind it. The Endosymbiotic Theory, a cornerstone of how we understand complex life. But how does swallowing your enemy turn into evolution? And what does this have to do with you, your dog, that salad you ate, and every living thing you've ever met? Long before humans invented drama, the microscopic world was thriving in it. Meet Big Cell, an overgrown cell just vibing through life, slow, sloppy, and always on snack patrol. Think of him as that roommate who eats everything but never cleans the fridge. Then there's Bacterio, fast, fiery, and full of energy. The guy who brings his own generator to a blackout party. One day, Big Cell saw Bacterio zipping around and thought, "Dinner!" He lunged, engulfed him. Done deal, right? Bacterio didn't scream, didn't melt. Instead, he started working. Suddenly, Big Cell felt something. A buzz. No, not indigestion. More like energy. Pure, clean, high efficiency ATP. He blinked. "Wait, you make this?" And Bacterio, cool as ever, said, "Yeah, oxidative phosphorylation. Been doing this since before you had a membrane." Big Cell, confused but impressed, did something no cell had ever done. He didn't digest. Instead, he let Bacterio stay. One day turned into two, two into forever. It was the weirdest truce in cellular history. Predator and prey becoming partners. Big Cell brought the snacks and Bacterio powered the place like a tiny bio-battery. And just like that, they formed the first symbiotic lease agreement. No contract, no lawyer, just mutual survival. What started as an attempted snack became the greatest power couple in evolutionary history. Big Cell and Bacterio thrived, dividing, multiplying, and running on clean cellular energy. Thus, the mitochondrion was born. And spoiler alert, you've got billions of them inside you. Chloroplast joins the club. So Big Cell and Bacteria were out there living the high energy life. But somewhere else, in a different microbial neighborhood, another hungry cell had plans. It spotted a glowing greenish bacterium. We'll call him Photosyntho, just floating around, turning sunlight into sugar like it was a casual flex. The host cell thought, "Nice, free snack machine. I am eating that." So it pounced. Classic engulf and digest move. But just like Bacterio, Photosyntho didn't break down. He just kept working, calm, chill, and chlorophyll filled, photosynthesizing like nothing had happened. The host blinked. "Wait, I'm getting carbs from inside my stomach?" And Photosyntho was like, "Yeah, just give me light, space, and don't mess with my thylakoids." The second great symbiotic roommate agreement was born. This time, the cell was running on sunlight and carbon dioxide. Photosyntho evolved into the chloroplast, and just like that, evolution split the bill. The family tree twist, animals versus plants. So now we had two major players, cells with mitochondria, the power-hungry types, and cells with both mitochondria and chloroplasts, the ones who went solar. That's the moment life split into two kingdoms with very different vibes. The mitochondria-only crowd, they became the go-getters, movers and shakers, mouth-havers. They ran, swam, hunted, danced, and eventually made reels on Instagram. In other words, animals. Meanwhile, the dual cell gang, mitochondria plus chloroplast, they went chill mode, laid down roots. Literally. Why chase food when you can make your own out of sunlight? They became plants, the ultimate homebodies with a light-based meal plan. And just like that, your family tree now included two ancient symbiotic accidents. Your mitochondria, they are the great-great-grandkids of Bacterio. And that broccoli you refused to eat as a kid, powered by the legacy of Photosyntho. What's wild is none of this was planned. It wasn't a meeting of minds, it was survival improv. But it worked so well, it stuck. And every complex organism alive today came from one of these two lineages, all thanks to that cell that turned lunch into a forever roommate. Okay, story time is fun and all, but how do we know this actually happened? Well, turns out your mitochondria and chloroplasts are kinda sus. They don't just act like the rest of your cell, they live by their own rules. There are jarring differences between human and bacterial cells. Who do the mitochondria and chloroplasts resemble more? Let's find out. Let's start with DNA. This is what human DNA looks like. It's linear. And this is what bacterial DNA looks like. It's circular. Well, both mitochondria and chloroplasts have their own DNA, tiny circular strands, just like bacteria. They even reproduce independently. Bacteria divide by a simple process called binary fission, whereas human cells divide by a much more complex process called mitosis, which involves many precise steps. Guess how mitochondria and chloroplasts divide? By binary fission, of course. They also have two membranes covering them, one from their old life, one from the cell that swallowed them. Scientists looked at these clues and went, wait a minute, these aren't just organelles, they're ancient stowaways. So yeah, the whole cell ate another cell and kept it alive to create energy theory? Not just a wild bedtime story, it's real biology. So the next time someone calls you basic, just remind them, you're a walking symbiotic success story built by ancient bacterial roommates who decided not to fight but to cooperate. Mitochondria and chloroplasts didn't just change one cell, they changed everything. If that blew your mind, hit that like button. And if you want more science stories that feel too weird to be real, subscribe. Your mitochondria will thank you.